The Sports Nightly Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Good evening, I'm Evan Bolt, and let's get to some news from around the sports world. Nebraska's star outside hitter Harper Murray was named Big Ten Player of the Week today, marking her first time earning that accolade and the first Husker to do so since Merritt Beeson in 2023. Yesterday, the Husker women's soccer team decided to follow the football team's lead with a 2-0 victory over the visiting Maryland Terrapins, improving to 7-3-5 on the season. Moving away from Nebraska, we have an NFL Monday night doubleheader. Bills at Falcons at 6:15 Central, and Bears at Commanders kicking off an hour later. Also happening tonight is the MLB Championship Series. Game 2 of Seattle-Toronto is underway with a score of 7-3 in favor of Seattle in the top of the 6th. Mariners lead the series 1-0, while Game 1 of Dodgers-Brewers will begin at 8:05. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rhule out of the gun, snap, turn, play fake, zips one left, leaping one-handed catch, tumbling in the end zone, Dane Key, touchdown, Huskers! Oh, that was a cold-blooded drive. Washington out of the gun, Fleming in motion right to left. Snap to Washington, game on the line, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws it behind Fleming, incomplete. Nebraska stands tall, and they're gonna win it. Turnover on downs.
Oregon serves. She's already got an ace. This time they pass her. Middle back swing. Kenna Willard blocked. Who else? Rebecca Alec. Nebraska gets block number 5. And the Huskers up 24-16, set 2.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
When you're part of a team, you're playing together, and it's really hard to play this game one guy at a time. And so when you're making that, when you're out there and you're part of 11, then you're part of 100. I mean, it's really powerful. And so they were going to find a way, and they found it.
Running back to the left of Raiola is Quinton Ives. Snap to Raiola, 3 in the pattern. Tunnel screen over the middle. It's Hunter to the 45 as a block. Across midfield, it's Hunter to the 40. Far left sideline, 20, 15, 10. And is he in? He is! Touchdown Huskers! Another quick screen to Isaiah Hunter, and he takes it to the house for a second consecutive week. 2nd and 6, Turk 27. One wide each way, ball splits the hash marks. Nolan Ray is the running back, sidecar right of Washington. Takes a snap, turn right, and he's blown up in the backfield. Nowhere to hide. It's Cade Petschak who says hello back at the 20.
It's actually very important, especially with going on to these next steps and playing in this league. You have to have a good relationship, good chemistry with all 3 phases. So if one phase is not feeling it that day or not doing a good job, another person picks them up from the other side, and we just feed off each other.
High pinwheeling kick, that's returnable. Williams at the 5, far right hash. To the 10, angles left to the 15, 20, has a crease, 25, 30. There goes Williams across midfield to the 40. Williams, 20, 15, 10, drag down from behind, right at the 10-yard line. He was oh so close with no flags on the field from housing it. One wide each way, snap, play, action, fade, near left side of the end zone, leaping catch for the touchdown. Isaiah Hunter going up high. And the Huskers tack on 23-14 with 5:37 to go in the second. 12 yards on the lobbing fade. Snap and a counter action towards Johnson. Bounces out right, 45. Foot race accelerates, 40. Johnson to the 30. Cuts left to the 25. Still stays on his feet. Bounces out right, 15. Brought down from behind. How in the world did EJ just do that? Down to the 10. 1st and goal. 50 beautiful yards.
Great football game between 2 football teams that battled. They made a ton of plays. We made a ton of plays. We just, we made one more. It mattered.
2nd and goal. 3-yard line, right hash, down 31-27, minute 12 on a stop timer in the fourth. 2 receivers left. Rhule out of the gun, snap, turn, play fake, zips one left, leaping, one-handed catch, tumbling in the end zone, Dane Key, touchdown, Huskers! Oh, that was a cold-blooded drive.
All I got to say is we're relentless, man. We played to the end. We got a 4-quarter team. Defense had our back, offense had their back. Just come down to making winning plays in the winning moments, and that's what we did today.
25 seconds, 4th and 4, Husker 49. 2 receivers left, one to the right. Washington out of the gun, Fleming in motion right to left. Snap to Washington, game on the line, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws it behind Fleming, incomplete! Nebraska stands tall, and they're gonna win it! Turnover on downs! It wasn't pretty, but Nebraska found a way! 5-1, and they'll fly out of here victorious!
I think it just builds confidence. Going to Minnesota, it's a tough place to play. We know what that environment is like, and so have to be ready for everything.
Fire me up, Kyle Crooks.
Yeah, I was just telling Camden, our producer today, Camden Cohn, the great, that it was like that was 4 minutes of me screaming like a banshee. So welcome into this Monday. But that's the type of game it was it not, Jess?
It was not. It was, and I get to hear you do it, but hearing it all together, just man, there were times it wasn't pretty, and you got a little worried over there. Actually, I was not, because you could just tell. I could tell by the body language on the sideline that even when things were not going well, that's the difference in this team. And I've said it a couple different times. Well, now I guess 3 times, because you go back to Cincinnati and then Michigan State and then this last week, that it's just a different kind of body language and belief with this group, and they just they know they're never out of it. And hey, it's a 4-quarter game. That's what I keep hearing them say. It's a 4-quarter game, but love to be here on Victory Mondays, that's for sure.
Yeah, another Victory Monday. So we'll take it 5-1. You're already 1 win away from being bowl eligible, heading on the road again towards Minnesota, but certainly a lot to dive into when it comes to this game. And DB made the point on the air. I was saying, this is the second consecutive week that you really had to dig deep, right? Because you had the early lead again, just like he was almost at times a carbon copy of the Michigan State game, because you're up 14 against the Spartans, you're up 10 against the Terrapins, and you let both of those leads slip. In this case, Nebraska this past Saturday had multiple 10-point leads, had the opportunity to take a 3-score lead going into halftime, couldn't do it. And it's the worst game that your star quarterback had played in the sense of mistakes, right? He threw he threw 3 picks, and 2 of them were ones that were kind of head-scratching, but he comes back and, he threw 4 touchdowns for the game, which tied a career high, but he had 2 80-plus yard drives late, one to lead to the field goal, right? And then you had the touchdown pass to Dane Key, who bounces back after not having a catch the previous week. A lot of guys stepping up. I think it was the best game that the offensive line had played.
Yeah.
Defensively, it was suspect at times. Maryland, who had not been able to run the ball at all, they had some success being able to run on the ground. We saw some design runs from the quarterback that we didn't think that we'd see from Malik Washington. But when they had to get stops in the fourth quarter, one play really stands out, and I think it turned the tide on a lot of things. Maryland was driving in plus territory. I think they were around the 30 or so yard line. It was a 3rd and 2, and Deshaun McCullough makes a tackle for loss, and that changed the game on its head.
Coach Rhule said that today in the TV show when we went back through the highlights. He said that was, maybe the game-changing play for the group. But, hey, it's not just the football team. Husker Volleyball, 2 more sweeps added on, just dominated number 12 Purdue on Sunday. Husker Soccer picks up a big win on Senior Day yesterday, so we're back rolling here with our fall sports.
That's how this thing started out, right? In August and early September, nobody was losing, and then you're eventually, I guess volleyball maybe eventually will slip up. But
no, they're not.
I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the team, who's going to beat them?
Yeah.
Right? So they just keep rolling, and it's a good time to be a Husker.
Well, 402-413-2400, the phone lines are open for you. If you want to call in, be a part of the show tonight, we'd love to hear from you. Text in as well. We always enjoy hearing your text messages on these Monday night shows, getting the feedback from the games. Hey, lots to dive into. We understand the big news with the now vacant coaching position opening at Penn State. and Coach Rhule's alma mater. He talked about it today in his press conference. We're going to get to some of that a little bit later. We'll talk some volleyball. Hey, and it's also game week for Husker basketball. Crossover season is officially here.
So Friday night football will play at Minneapolis. For you, it's going to be a quick turnaround, right? Because you'll have to come back. It's a noon tip at PBA against BYU, who's a top 10 team. So you're going to have the early exhibitions going, and you're going to have a lot of games on the radio, on the Husker Radio Network here over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it is that time. So October, November, and first part of December, pretty wild around here, but we love it. We love it. But going back to the football game, I guess there were so many, it felt like a bunch of different games in one. You know, you had...
second straight week it's been like that.
Yeah, it just is like, what's going on? You're rolling there, and then a couple of the touchdown gets taken off, and then I felt like the offense was pretty frustrated by that. But then, and Coach Rhule has talked about you got to be able to put teams away. But for this team to put together the plays at the end to kick the field goal, when they came off after they kicked the field goal, even despite not scoring, when I saw them, I was like, okay, yep, there's no issue in this team winning this football game. I mean, Rocco Spindler was fired up. But, Emmitt Johnson was unbelievable, 176 over 8 yards a carry. That one run was just, it was one of the better football plays I think I've seen in person.
It's incredible. When I've watched it back the last today or last couple days, I've watched it a bunch, and I can't believe that really all game, the energy that he ran the ball with, it's elite. And I remember when I got this job, I went back, watched all the games from last year, and when EJ had seen more and more time, when Dana came in, was calling plays over the last 4 games, you could see it. You could see the ceiling, just how hard he runs. He's a unique player, and he's a star.
Yeah. And give credit to the offensive line. You said it earlier, but that trio, the interior, which Searles has been very, very high on, they're very comfortable at that run blocking and opening up the holes. And then I think I even asked Emmitt about that in the post game, just about the way he's seeing it. It just is, you talk about players that have played the sport and how it starts to slow down. And I think for Emmitt, the way that he's able to see things now and understand when to make moves and how and when and where to make the cuts and when to turn it on, when to maybe be patient. It just he's just seeing it in a completely different way this season.
And the way he runs too, he makes all those cuts, but he's always moving north south.
Right.
He's always getting downfield. He's not somebody who runs laterally to the sidelines. He makes all these different jump cuts, but he's always getting forward. He's always getting positive yards. So for him to have the game, we saw more Isaiah Mosey too, and I think we'll continue to see that develop as we go with the number 2 running back. I think it was good to see somebody else get the opportunity to get some carries. I think Isaiah had 4 carries over the weekend, so it was good to see him get involved as well. And then the continued development in what we're seeing out of the wide receivers has been great. Dane Key was my pick to click just based on the fact that I couldn't see him laying an egg for a second straight week. And he makes that one-handed catch for the touchdown. That was the difference. But he also made a couple of crucial catches on one of those long drives.
Yep.
One of them to move the chains, one of them on a 2nd and 16 that moved the sticks, and he was shaken up, injured, came back, and then he makes the one-handed catch in the end zone and then sprints to the sideline, and right away, I think what's interesting and what's so great about this coaching staff is Coach Rhule, and we'll hear some of his cuts coming up in this hour. Meanwhile, during that drive, it was so for the Huskers, I'm trying to look back at it, it was a 7-play, 81-yard drive. John Butler's on the sideline already scheming up what they're going to do defensively. And Coach Rhule said he essentially invented a new defense, a new wrinkle to sort of throw off the quarterback.
Well, that's what I was talking to you guys about on the sideline. When I saw him doing that, he was talking with Cam Linhart, Deshaun McCullough, and he was, while the offense was driving, he was pulling Braden over, and Braden and Butler were acting like they were the offensive linemen, and then Cam, they were basically doing the play on the sideline. It just, it is fascinating to watch Coach Butler on the sideline.
I think, Jess, we're going to start to realize once this all is said and done how elite John Butler is.
Yeah.
I think he's been waiting, we've said it a million times, been waiting a long time to become a defensive coordinator. I think by the end of this year, he's going to become a lot more of a household name, not just here in Lincoln, but they're going to see what he's done. And just the exotic looks, all these different fronts that quarterbacks will see, 5 down, 3 down, 2 down, all these guys roaming all over the place, 3 high safety, 2 high. He's throwing so many things at these. And like we said, the ability to make adjustments from all those guys on the defense, that probably could have been the difference as the defense gets the stop when it's all said and done to win it.
Yeah, and Coach Rhule talked about this, and we're going to hear a little bit of it coming up. But just it's John Butler, as you mentioned. I think he's going to be a guy that teams are going to come after this season, and just seeing how this defense continues to get better. And when your teams are playing really good defense or really good offense, I mean, there's a reason when teams start winning. There's a reason why those coordinators get blocked up by some of these teams, whether it's head coaching positions or other opportunities. We saw it last year with Tony White, and Tony White was sought after since he got here. And I think John Butler is going to probably be one of those guys. Dana Holgorsen always is, just because of what he's done as an offensive coordinator. But I think John Butler is going to be one of those guys.
You want to evaluate progress in a program. Let me say this. You're on the road, -3 in turnovers. You gave up 17 points off turnovers, and you won a 1-score game.
Yeah.
All these things you'd say, that's it for the Huskers. That's it for the Huskers. But they checked everything off the list on the road. Granted, it was 15,000 Husker fans, which is, I think, a part we'll get into as we move along in the show, just how amazing this fan base is. We had a Husker power chant, Jess, during the pregame. It sounded like it was Memorial Stadium before kickoff.
Yeah, well, you brought this up because the Husker fans, when the doors opened, it was a slow arriving crowd, but the fans that did get there early were Husker fans. Let's just be real. There weren't a lot of Maryland fans to start. But then when the teams go back in and then come back out about 45 minutes or so to start going through their warm-ups and full pads, Maryland went back in to come back out. And when Nebraska ran out, they got a loud cheer. But when Maryland came out, their cheer was not very loud, and so they basically redid it.
We couldn't see the near side, obviously, of the stands. We had an overhang, so we couldn't see that side
it was
at all.
patchy.
We only saw the Nebraska side, which was pretty much full, aside from areas of the very, very top. And my guess was 10K. Damon was 20K, and I'd say it was more towards Damon. I thought Damon was nuts for saying 20,000. It was more towards Damon's number.
Well, and you also said this, there's a lot of red, obviously, with Maryland, but I could see the logos. Red and black, obviously, and that's a lot of what the colors are with Nebraska, but I could see the logos, and there was a couple of patches within the Husker sideline, but it was way dominated by Husker fans.
Well, I think you could judge it, too, when Nebraska's on defense and you hear the sound on the third down or the final play of the game, and they have to really dig in to listen to their quarterback on their home field. I think that's what proves the amount of red was the end that Nebraska read.
Yeah, and there were a couple times I'm trying to talk to you guys during plays, and you can't even hear me in your headset because of how loud the crowd was.
It's just a really good weekend, one to celebrate. But now what's interesting is you have a Minnesota team that they just skated by Purdue, which it's crazy. Big Ten, that's why you never apologize. I think I was saying this to Damon on the plane. The parity of college football now is equal, maybe even better in some respects to the NFL. The NFL is anybody can win any given Sunday. That's the slogan. Now you're seeing every single week when I see the score and I'm calling the game and I see Indiana's up 10 and there's a minute left and they're at Oregon and they're essentially they're winning by 2 possessions at a place that nobody thought anybody would win. And then you see Northwestern go on the road and beat Penn State and UCLA beat Penn State. And you're just seeing all these wacky results that don't make any sense. That's what's awesome for college football. I think we complain about NIL and transfer portal. I think, if anything, the proof's in the pudding that it's probably created more parity than we thought it would.
Agree. But again, I did want to get to that too. The shout out to Husker Nation that showed up. I had a couple different people that came up to me, and there was a guy specifically, I wish I would have gotten his name, but from Virginia that watches the show on YouTube, that watches the podcast and listens to a lot of what we do. I think a lot of those East Coast Huskers wanted to take advantage of being able to see their team over there on the East Coast.
I think that's the cool thing about the Big Ten is it's bi-coastal. So we'll see that when we go to UCLA and future games when you play in the Pacific Northwest at Oregon or you're playing Washington, that this is a fan base. It's almost like the Steelers or the Cowboys in the NFL, to go back to my NFL comparison. It's just a fan base that's everywhere. It's national, and they're going to take over any venue that they're in for any sport.
So again, 402-413-2400 is that number to call in, text in if you want to chat with us here on the show tonight. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, got to get to a break. On the other side of this, we're going to play a few of the highlights from the head coach Matt Rhule's press conference today. We'll talk about that Penn State coaching vacancy, what the head coach had to say about that when he was asked about it in his press conference. So still lots to get to here on Sports Nightly. Keep it here.
A little more slack.
Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $4.99 a month and $0 down.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorseed Enlist corn, the unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. You like that song? Can you name that tune? This is a fun game we play with Camden now on Monday nights.
So Maroon 5 are coming here to PBA, and I was looking up for tickets. I think I'm going to get tickets. That's a Wednesday night of USC week. That's a busy week for us, though. That's Hall of Fame on Friday and then USC on Saturday. But I think I'm going to get to my first concert at PBA.
So, you know a funny story. So, last home game, Michigan State, Adam Devine, the comedian, was here, right? And someone texted me, Adam Devine is here. I think it was Cassidy. And so, in my mind, I'm like,
It was Adam
Levine.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I looked it up. I'm like, oh, they must be here. And I'm like, they're not here for 2 weeks. What is he doing here? And she's like, no, the comedian. And I'm like, oh, pitch perfect. Oh,
it's a very easy mix-up. Adam Devine, Adam Levine.
Yeah.
Devine is from a very popular, big-time Nebraska fan who was here for the Michigan State game. Actor. He's in a bunch of movies. You can Google him out there if you don't know him, but he's from Omaha, and he was here the other week. Huge Nebraska fan. A lot of celebrity Nebraska fans.
Yes, absolutely. But so I guess we'll get to it here. Big news yesterday after Penn State loses to Northwestern, lost 3 in a row to UCLA, who was struggling. So that was a big story 2 weeks ago, coming off the Oregon loss. So the double overtime loss to Oregon. Then you lose to UCLA, which UCLA had already fired their coach, and then you turn right around and lose to Northwestern. So fire 3 in a row, or lose 3 in a row, and then James Franklin is fired. The news comes out on Sunday, and of course, immediately, here comes the reports that Matt Rhule is a candidate for the job.
Yeah, and a lot of it stems back to, well, he's an alum, and he's very good friends with the athletic director. So you connect all those dots together, and Coach Rhule is an enticing candidate because he's a really good coach. He understands what it takes to win in college football nowadays. He hasn't brought Nebraska to the level yet of where he wants it to go, but you could see it's trending in that direction. So it's easy to connect those dots. So we'll wait and see, but he certainly touched on it today.
I feel like it's going to be something that is, as he talked about, and it's going to be something from here on out, as long as he's here and as long as this program continues to win, that he's going to be in those conversations. Those coordinators are going to be in those conversations. I mean, how about Matt Campbell? I feel like he's in the conversation for every single opening that ever exists.
He's had a lot of opportunities, and he's decided to stay at Iowa State.
Yeah.
He just feels like that's the best place for him to build something. And if they don't hire somebody before Nebraska goes there November 22nd, which I assume they probably won't, that the noise is going to get even louder if that's still the narrative that's out there, or if other candidates arise by that time. But Nebraska, I should say Penn State, Drew Aller's out for the season. They're starting quarterback. They're going to have an interim head coach. When you look at how that game stacks up now on the schedule to what we thought it would in the preseason, that's why when you play win-loss games in the preseason, it's a little ridiculous because injuries and all these things take place. To look at how that game stacks up now for Nebraska on the road, if you're, I don't even want to say records because I don't want to put it out there and jinx anything, but if you're in a spot where let's just say you're in a national CFP conversation, that Penn State game looks a lot different now on the road and what the possibilities are to go and win that game.
Penn State's schedule leading up to that Nebraska matchup is pretty brutal as well. At Iowa this weekend, on our picks this week, got a bye. Then at Ohio State, Indiana at home. Then I think at Michigan State.
And their Ohio State game was supposed to be big noon originally. I think that's probably going to get flexed out to think what everyone thought that would be a massive game, Penn State, Ohio State, and changes everything. You feel bad for the guys on that team. I mean, they're a year removed from a college football playoff semifinal. To think that James Franklin is out of a job, now he's going to get paid handsomely for the buyout and all those things. So, and he'll land on his feet. He'll be a head coach again somewhere else. But to think that this is a team that was on the doorstep from a national championship game to now not having their starting quarterback and their head coach is fired 6 games into the year is, wow.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Wowzer. Okay, so of course, when Matt Rhule met with the media today for his weekly press conferences on Monday, it was one of the first questions he was asked about because it was all over social media on Sunday. His name has come up as a part of this conversation, and this is what he had to say to that question.
I love Penn State. Met my wife there. It's my alma mater. Fan since I was born. I think, probably had a Penn State shirt when I was born. I love Pat Kraft. And really sad to see Coach Franklin go. You know, when you think about what he did for my alma mater, you know that program was in peril, right? I mean, the players, if people remember, like the historic sanctions, you could transfer out, you could do whatever you want. Bill O'Brien comes in, stabilizes it for 2 years. James takes over a program in disarray and gives stability, excellence, and to see videos of people like yelling at his kids, and like I just don't understand why in our country, like well, now, like coaches are villains. Like, you know how hard I worked in Carolina, and the things that were said to me, or you know how hard I work here, and some of the things that are said, you know, our coaches work here, how hard Sat worked last year. So I'm just really sad about that part of it. And people say, well, you make a lot of money. Making a lot of money doesn't make your kids feel good when they're hearing that. You know, make a lot of money. It's nice to make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but still people. So I really respect James Franklin. Troy and I are in unbelievable relationship too. And Troy and I are in constant communication about this program and where we're headed. You know, I came here for 2 reasons. I love the community here and wanted to live here, and I love it here. And I wanted to rebuild Nebraska football. And, you know, Troy and I understand the steps that you need to take to make us Big Ten champions and national champions. This place is elite. And, I want to be a great father, and I want to be a great college football coach. And so, you know, I'm not going to talk a lot about job openings when they come. Maybe it's been a while here, but this is what happens when you win. I've dealt with it. You know, we've won at Temple, and I dealt with it all the time. I've dealt with Baylor. I'm not going to talk about those things ever. I'm not going to talk about my contract here. I'm going to talk about the team. But yeah, I absolutely love it here, and I want us to continue to take the steps needed for us to turn this thing into a beast. And players all across the country want to come here. We have the best facilities. We have elite fans. And, you know, I'm just looking at the future. So, but again, I love that place. I love Pat. I love James Franklin. Sad that came to an end. I wish him the absolute best. But I'm really happy here and excited to get going this week on Minnesota.
I mean, it's sort of what you'd expect to hear out of Coach Rhule. He has a lot of respect for the leadership at Penn State. It's a place that's very special to him. I understand that, but you know, he came here to do something pretty special too, and you have all the resources here and everything that you need to win. And I think what's underrated in this whole thing, and we have an opportunity to see it up close and personal, but the relationship between Coach Rhule and Troy Dannon is really good.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really, really good connection for somebody. Troy didn't hire Coach Rhule. Trev hired Coach Rhule and brought him in here. So the fact that they don't even have that dynamic of Troy was the guy who initially hired him, but to say that their relationship isn't rock solid and built on a big foundation would be wrong to say. Like they're really close.
Yeah, and they do have the connection of Pat Kraft at Penn State, and I know this Coach Rhule was obviously talked to about it before Troy Dannon came in, was a part of the process. But yeah, I mean they work very well together, and Troy Dannon wants to do what is needed to help this football team get to where Coach Rhule wants it to go. There's so many layers to why I feel like, and again, this is me personally, I think that outside of the connection of that's his alma mater and back home, all of that, I feel like this is a better job. And also, hey, you throw in the fact that his family is here. He talked about that and how much they love it here. His wife, Julie, has a business here. His daughters are playing volleyball. I talked to him about that the other day during the TV show. They're all in on playing volleyball here. They love it here. They were on the sidelines celebrating. It was fun to see that. I mean, they're a big part of this as well. And then that brand new facility over there, the coach basically was able to tailor make to how he wants it for his program. He's obviously very passionate about the recovery and the things that the athletes do to stay healthy, to make sure their bodies are at the best possible peak performance, to be able, the things outside of just lifting and you know, all those things that he was able to do. There's not a lot of places that are going to build that place at this day and age. You know, Nebraska got really fortunate during the timing of all of it that they were able to build that facility. There's so many things here that I think he is really invested in, and we'll see. But I what he said there, I mean, he loves it here, and he said, you know, he told his players, "I'm riding with you." There's no doubt in my mind that, I mean, he's gonna keep getting those. It's gonna be forever, as we talked about in the first segment. As long as Nebraska's winning, he's going to be in those conversations, and so we just got to deal with it.
Just like Dana Holgerson's going to be in those conversations in the offseason with all these openings, he's going to be a guy that if he wants to be a head coach again, he'll probably have an opportunity. I'm sure people look at John Butler when it's all said and done, and he might have different opportunities as well. It comes with success and a team that's off to a 5-1 start, but specifically for Coach Rhule with this Penn State connection and knowing the AD. But I think he had a really great line in the sense that we're human. We're not cyborgs. You know, he came here with a vision of bringing Nebraska back to national prominence. I just, at least for me personally, I don't see him getting up and leaving after 3 years. Maybe if this is his 7th year and they've been to a college football playoff, maybe he thinks a little bit different about it. Again, who knows? We don't know. We're just speaking from what we think may happen. We don't necessarily know things behind the scenes, but I just know that it seems like he's really comfortable here. He loves it here, and he works really well with Troy Dannon, and Troy's a vision. They both, Troy and Matt, they think very similarly. They're visionaries that want the most and to bring this program back to national prominence. And I don't know. I don't see him walking away from that, but you never know. College football is what it is.
All right, got to get to a break, but we're going to hear a couple more. We went a little long there talking about that, so let's go ahead and work in a break. When we come back, hear a couple more thoughts from the head coach at his weekly press conference. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset. These trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit Sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $3,250 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. All right, so we were talking with or listening to a couple of the highlights from Coach Rhule's press conference. We only played one of them for you so far, so we're going to get to another one here. Emmitt Johnson was just spectacular on Saturday. 176, over 8 yards a carry. Had the huge run, that game-winning play that Coach Rhule always talks about his players making. I chatted with him after the game. He said, I wanted to be one of those guys that makes that play. So Coach Rhule was asked about Emmitt Johnson and what's allowed him to get to the next level here this season.
I think I said it, maybe you guys, I can't remember what day I said, but coming out of that last game, we went back and looked at Michigan State, went back and looked at the yards per carry, and it was really good. We just didn't run it a ton. And then we came out in this game and we knew how good both edge rushers were and number 10, the 3 technique was. And we were like, hey, we're going to have to try to have these really physical runs to slow down the pass rush. They're great players. And so I thought we did that. We got in rhythm and I thought Emmitt just got more opportunities and then he just got going. And then, the back-to-back 80-plus yard drives at the end of the game. And we hurt ourselves in the one drive with 2 second and longs, and we're 2nd and 14 and Emmitt catches a screen and makes a bunch of guys miss. So just elite play from him. I just think the more times he got, the more locked in he'll be, and he'll be our guest game captain this week as we go back to his hometown. So excited for him.
I think that's an interesting storyline to this game this weekend. He goes back to his home city. I don't believe the Gophers recruited him either.
He did not.
So the thought that it's somewhat of a revenge game. Now, you don't want to go into anything too emotional about it because then I think that hurts your performance. You want to keep the main thing. But I think there's going to be a little bit of an extra chip on Emmitt's shoulder this week.
Yeah, I mean, and he has played Minnesota, but this is the first time, I guess, that he's the guy. But he's gone back there before, and he is going to have a large crowd there, and it does mean something. I think it means more to him to be playing not so much against Minnesota because they didn't recruit him, more so because he's going to have a whole lot of people in the stands.
Yeah, he's going to have an Emmitt Johnson fan section there.
Yeah.
But the way he's running right now, he's He's one of the best backs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's second in yards per in the Big Ten right now, if you go to the updated numbers. But to see what he provides, not just in the run game, but also as a safety valve in the passing game. And, you know, that 50-yard touchdown, if this season amounts to something truly special, I think you look back at that moment of that 50-yard run as part of, I always like to say, the championship DVD, with how special it was in a road win, and to lean on one of the veteran guys in that running back room. That was truly a special moment for this team that's continuing to trend in the right direction.
Yeah, and so someone had commented on the post with my post-game interview with him, and it said something about along the lines that I should find it, but the only person that's never doubted Emmitt Johnson is Emmitt Johnson. What a story, you know. I mean, there were times that, and even going back to high school, you know, he wasn't highly recruited, and I remember talking to him on signing day, and he had the utmost confidence in himself, and he stuck with it, and, you know, he's part of the testament of what Coach Rhule and the staff's able to do in development, but he just has stuck with the game plan, the program here, and believed in what's being done, and he's being rewarded for it. And I feel like I could say without a shadow of a doubt, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, there's nobody more deserving than Emmitt Johnson than of the success that he's getting this year.
Yeah, it's just an awesome sight, and it's turning into, when you think about all the parts, right, you know, Barney didn't really have a big game this past weekend, but Barney's had a really good year in general. When you get all those parts humming at the same time, Hunter, Key, Barney, and how about, we haven't even talked about this yet, the catches from the tight end spot.
Yeah.
Two of the best that we've seen all year. Luke's catch was a catch on Sundays. He caught it with the defender right on him, got 2 feet in on that catch, and then Harburg's catch was equally as impressive. Tiptoeing the boundary, making that catch, and setting him up inside the 5-yard line. Those tight ends, and Marcus Satterfield, there's a quote that Coach Rhule had said today that Sat always says about his tight ends, well, we're here when you need us. And that's what good tight ends are. They're safety blankets. And also, too, there was a big play that I think is also part of the championship DVD as I'm replaying the game in my mind. There's one play late in the game where Dylan's rolling out to his left, zigzagging, and then throws back right to Luke Lindenmeyer, who makes the catch and then stiff arms a guy and is able to get more yardage after the catch. It's just the tight ends and Luke Lindenmeyer, just his production this year has been massive for this offense.
Nobody was more fired up than Heinrich Harburg after that game, and I talked to him, I asked him about it and why he was so emotional. He said, everything that has gone into my entire time here and how many times we didn't get it done, that we were able to get it done today like we did today, just all of that just pouring out of him. Is pretty special. All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Hey Huskers, what would you do with up to $75K to upgrade your irrigation game? Automate that tough corner of your farm, add remote monitoring, or finally swap out that old pivot? Valley Irrigation just kicked off a bold $100,000 grant backing growers with real plays. 2 big awards, 1 chance to turn your irrigation challenge into a game-winning drive. See the playbook at valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. Just log in and grab an instant $50 Valley Parts or Service voucher. Here's the snap, valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorceed-less corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore-less corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 1. This hour just absolutely flew by. Just got a couple minutes. I do see some texts rolling in. I promise we'll get to those here on the other side at the top of hour number 2. We're going to hear one more clip from Coach Rhule, but I have a question I want to pose. You triggered something in my mind during that last segment, and so I want to give people some time to think about it, give you some time to think about it. So we're 6 games in, 6 games left to play, so midway through the schedule. Who is your offensive MVP?
Offensive MVP. We're going to take Dylan out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Offensive MVP. Probably.
And you could think about it.
Okay, let me think
about it. We'll answer that. And what do you guys think? 402-413-2400. Let us know who's your offensive MVP. Because you could pick a number of them, especially if you take Dylan out of the equation. So, it's there's a lot of guys that have contributed. I think, especially the last 2 games, you could maybe point to Isaiah Hunter.
He's probably your Big Ten MVP. Big Ten game.
Key to start the season. Emmitt obviously is a. And look, I know that they've had some issues, but those front 3 on the offensive line. Justin Evans stepping into the center position. He's the quarterback up there for the offensive line, I guess, and kind of, being the director of the traffic and stepping into that role. I think he's done a solid job as well. So those offensive linemen a lot of times get overlooked. And then how about Luke Lindenmeyer has played a big role and not just catching the football. He's been a huge part of just the overall offense.
How loud was that Luke chant in Maryland? You want to talk about how big the crowd was? Go back to the Luke chant. Watch that on television and see how loud that was.
I was standing right there. I heard it. It was in my ear. But it's his parents were there as well. They haven't missed a game, and Vince was telling me the first time he heard Luke's name and announced on the starting lineup, and everybody went, Luke. He got emotional hearing that. That's another one of those great stories here at this Nebraska football program. All right, we got to step aside for a break. Hour number 2 just ahead. 402-413-2400. Still plenty to come. Lots to get to. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Sports Nightly Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Good evening, I'm Evan Bolt once more. Let's check back in on some scores in the sports world. In the ALDS, the Mariners hold a firm lead over the Toronto Blue Jays in the top of the 8th. That score is 10-3 as the Mariners look to close that game out and take a 2-game series lead on the road. In the NFL, the 2-2 Falcons hold the lead over the visiting 4-1 Bills 14-7 after one quarter. Josh Allen and Michael Penix Jr. have both passed for a touchdown apiece, with former BYU Cougar Tyler Algier rushing for a Falcons score. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the Retirement Compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rhule out of the gun, snap, turn, play fake, zips one left, leaping one-handed catch, tumbling in the end zone, Dane Key, touchdown, Huskers! Oh, that was a cold-blooded drive. Washington out of the gun, Fleming in motion right to left. Snap to Washington, game on the line, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws it behind Fleming, incomplete. Nebraska stands tall, and they're gonna win it. Turnover on downs.
Oregon serves. She's already got an ace. This time they pass her. Middle back swing. Kenna Willard blocked. Who else? Rebecca Alec. Nebraska gets block number 5. And the Huskers up 24-16, set 2.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Monday night edition. For those wondering, Evan is one of our new interns, and Jim on the chat said the intern reminds me of a movie star. I can't think of his name. You know, for those that don't recall, when Camden first started, people said he looked like Conway Twitty, right?
Conway Twitty, that's a throwback. Jim, it sounds like Evan needs a song, just like we did.
Yeah. So I think
Evan
of that.
could have his own
I think
song.
I know. I feel like I know what you're talking about, Jim, but I can't remember who it is either.
And
but,
the last name too, Bolt, Evan Bolt.
yeah,
That's big
that's
time
a
broadcasting
name. Yeah. Yep.
That'll get you places. Just say Evan Bolt. Then you turn heads. And people are like, well, wait a second, Evan, why don't you take a seat over here?
Is it as good as Kyle Crooks?
It's better. Evan's got a good voice. We got some good interns.
Talented interns. We do. Yeah. We really do. And they do a lot of work that's not always seen other than just doing the ticker. We've got phone calls coming in. Evan's bolting to pick up the phone call.
He's got a phone call?
Camden
Is he related
that
to
one.
Will Bolt?
I don't know.
What's that? Evan, you related to Will? He's on the phone right
He's
now.
on the phone.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we got some good, you know what? We got some good interns.
We do. We really do. We appreciate them. Art in Los Angeles, your favorite, your number one fan, says Hunter is the offensive MVP. I asked the question in the last segment of hour number 1, who's your offensive MVP? And Art in Los Angeles said Hunter is the offensive MVP and Kyle Crooks is the world's best announcer, GBI.
Wow. Half of that statement might be true. The Hunter part. The back end of it, I appreciate it. But that, I don't know if that's factual.
Okay, Eric in Lincoln. This is a solid text. I feel like I honestly think Matt Rhule stays. He is a smart man and isn't going to say, I'm not going anywhere, quotations. He will use this to get a raise and probably more money for his assistants and whatever else he needs to help Nebraska as a program. This creates big leverage for him. I felt he handled it well. This is a business, and when you are wanted, you can utilize this as leverage. Again, Eric in Lincoln sent that in.
Just like any business, right? It's yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way for sure. Again, we don't have any inside knowledge to anything at all, but I know it's in the world of NIL and rev share, coaches, you can never get enough. I mean, you see the way that Oregon pours into their program and Alabama pours into their program. There's no reason, at least in Matt Rhule's mind, that they shouldn't be at the forefront of all these things. And it's I know there's a stadium project that they're trying to get greenlit and all these things. So. There is some leverage in this, and it's basic business. Troy knows that. Matt knows that. So we'll see what happens out of it.
All right, Camden, breaking news. Jim Briggs says he has something for Camden this year for Halloween. So
Okay. Conway
Camden.
I'm
Twitty.
excited. I'm excited
yeah,
about
hopefully it's a Conway Twitty.
I would take that. I'm
Conway
interested in
Twitty.
what Kyle's is going to be, actually.
Conway.
I know. He said he got you the perfect costume. Jim did. So it's
scares me a little
arriving
bit.
soon.
Conway Twitty, the only reason I know Conway Twitty is from that Family Guy joke. If anybody, did you watch Family Guy, Evan, Camden? You know exactly what they just put Conway Twitty on the as one of those cutaway jokes. Did you watch? You ever watch Family Guy?
No,
Jess?
I
You're
didn't.
just laughing just to make me feel good.
No, I was laughing at Evan's response.
Yeah,
to
Evan
that.
knows because we all watch Family Guy. Is one of those I always watch in reruns.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit. Carla, one of our favorite texters, said, Evening Sports Nightly, flip side of the Penn State issue. Any ideas where Coach Franklin goes next? More NCAA football, or does he try the NFL again? Also, any chance we could screen Rhule's phone calls to make sure he remains our head coach with a laughy face and a wink face?
We'll get Jess on that. I don't know if we're going to tap phones or anything like that. We just got to trust the process playing out. As far as James Franklin, there's going to be a lot of openings, a lot of college football big-time openings. So I could see him, if he wants that, I could assume that he maybe wants to take a year off. He'd be very good in television, James Franklin, if he wants to take a year or two off, do television, and then when he resets and he's ready to go, I could see him coaching in the SEC or something like that and having a big-time job, whether it's Arkansas or somewhere else.
Yeah, and again, with the buyout and all of that, I mean, look at a guy like Jimbo Fisher. He's kind of just getting to – I think both those coaches, both of them will get back into coaching, but there are some stipulations with contracts on if you take another job and all of that. The buyout sometimes decreases, all of that good stuff. Someone mentioned to me that Oklahoma State should go after James Franklin.
You're telling me that wouldn't be a name that Oklahoma State would jump all over?
They should.
The ability to get James Franklin.
They need someone like that.
Now, I don't know if he'd want that job. He probably could get
not.
it. Again, he probably could get an SEC job when it comes open.
No, for sure.
So, but again, I don't know if he wants to do it right away. Depends on what does the landscape look a year from now, is because it's wide open. You might not get a off season like you're going to get in terms of the high profile coaching openings like you do.
Pete in West Point had called in. We lost him. So, Pete, if you want to call back in, we'll get to the phone call as soon as you call back. Sorry about that. But, all right, did want to play one more cut from you from Coach Rhule's press conference. It was about just on the challenge of back-to-back road games for his squad and a short week at that.
Yeah, and the short week too. No matter what you do, the travel takes a toll on you, right? And then I don't know how it was for you guys, but we got out there, and even with the police escort, it took us almost an hour to get to the airport. And then we sat on the runway for 45 minutes, and you get home at 11:30, and then all of a sudden it's, if you're like me, like I don't go to bed till 2. I'm amped, so I'm watching the game on TV just to see how the flow of the game went. And then I'm watching the Minnesota game on TV, so you just get tired being on the road. We were there for 2 days. And you come back, and you got to go back on the road. So just a short week. But I think our guys travel really well. Our guys are really, really professional. They handle it well. We use Gridiron Air. We have a huge plane that we can, spread out in. So I'm excited about it.
This is another one of those Rhule-era litmus test games. Short week, Friday night at Minnesota. We all know how the Rhule tenure started at Minnesota. That game didn't go the way you wanted it. So now you have a short week. You've checked a lot of things off the list. You just had a 1-score road win where you came from behind. You were -3 in the turnover margin and won the game somehow. You were able to make plays when you had to. Now can you go on the road in a short week in a tough place to play, and can you win a game? This is the next obstacle for this program.
Yeah, and I've been a part of, I think this is my third trip to Minnesota, but and oh, by the way, this is the 2-year anniversary. You brought this up of Damon going to the wrong stadium.
That's
so
tough.
I'm sure that story will be
That'll
told
be brought
this
up.
week. Damon asked me to go on a show this week, so I'll make sure and remind folks of that story. One of the all-time great stories. But Minnesota there's some extra oomph in this game. It's a rivalry game, and Friday night, a lot of times it comes down to one score and special teams. I mean, my first trip there, it came down to a couple of field goal kicks, and it's one of those games. But, we're the last couple years starting off 5-1, so back-to-back seasons 5-1. And last year it was just so, it felt like just this huge, hey, let's just get to 6. Let's get to 6. Get back to a bowl game. And it's crazy how it feels so different this year that you feel like this team is capable of so much more than just 6. So it's not even just about, hey, this game gets you to a bowl game. It's you need to win to continue to chase some of those bigger goals that this team has set.
Yeah, and I think that team understands that it's not about just being bowl eligible. But it was big last year.
Yeah.
It was big getting that win against Wisconsin and getting the opportunity to go to a bowl game for the first time since 2016. But now it's much bigger than that. And you mentioned special teams in there being a difference. We haven't even talked about the fact that Kenneth Williams went on scholarship after the game.
Yeah.
How cool was that? And great job by our social media crew to put that right on Twitter right away. But he has that 85-yard return. Of course, track star at Lincoln High School. That's how he got flagged down by Coach Rhule and this staff and brought in here. But the video of Troy and Coach Rhule had said to Troy after the game, I think Troy had asked Coach Rhule, was it, is he on scholarship? And Coach Rhule's like, no. And then Troy's like, all right, that's going to change. How cool is that? His life changed just like that financially. And I think that was such a cool moment, adding to that win that, of course, scholarships are a little bit different now and how you can do them. It's a little bit more flexible in how you can do that. But the fact that he's been such a key part of special teams, and special teams have been so good this year, and for him to go on scholarship in front of the whole locker room was a special moment.
That it's still going to be, I think, a part of what this program does. And Coach Rhule had mentioned that today too. It just, hey, as transactional and everything, the NIL part of it is as it's become, that's still one of the really cool moments of college football. But on top of all of that, it's another special teams play that they practiced, they knew was going to happen, they saw on film, and it comes to fruition. I mean, that's every week there's been something that they've seen, they've practiced, they've known is going to happen. And then I know he didn't quite run it all the way back, but he sets up for a touchdown with the 85-yard return. And so it just those details continue to pay off there in those special teams.
Yeah, Mosey had a pretty good return. So I look at it now on my charts. Punt returns, they're 17th nationally in yardage per return, about 15. By the way, they've only given up, I think they've allowed one punt return. I don't think Maryland had a punt return in the game. They've allowed one punt return for -1 yards this year. But I mentioned they're 17th in punt return yardage. They're 7th now in kick return yardage returns because of that 85-yarder. So they're top 20 in both return numbers. Field goal wise, Cunnanon's been solid. Archie probably had the worst punt he'll have as a Husker. He had like a 20-yard shank into the sideline that didn't come back to hurt him. But all in all, it's incredible to see that this is like a top 10 special teams unit in the country. Massive turnaround.
Absolutely. And they just continue to set up whatever the defense, Phil Simpson last week said, we look at that as that's our first play on defense, and then same thing for the offense. And Coach Rhule brought up last week where Ja'Cory had the big return that they were not able to capitalize on. But even when they might not, we point out to maybe the punt block for a score or, some of those things, but just the way they're even setting the offense and defense up, even on the non-massive plays, it's absolutely been a factor in this team's success.
And how big was, Caleb's return out to midfield? We didn't
47.
know. 47. You were in our ear, but we couldn't really hear you with the crowd noise, and to let us know it was Caleb. And that was a really, really cool moment to see that. And Damon tweeted out, I think, at the moment that, because he had no idea either that it was Caleb. But you were telling us, we just didn't hear it. And so that was when he found out. I guess he didn't find out until the next commercial break when you told us, hey, that was Caleb who had that return, because we were trying to figure out who it was. It's one of those special team situations because Ives is also on return at 28.
Ives got a lot of love from Coach Rhule on the block on Kenneth Williams' return. So he's wearing 28. But yeah, so it started to get loud there, and I said, Caleb is wearing, and then somebody was saying something, so I didn't want to interrupt. Number 47. So I guess y'all heard me saying 47, but you didn't hear me saying Caleb is wearing. And so then we go, you said, there's the return. And then y'all are like, who's 47? And I kept, it's Caleb. It's Caleb. 47 is Caleb.
Yes, Damon, that's your son who's running it back.
Son wearing number 47. I told Caleb, it's funny because after the game, I was standing by the locker room trying to get some interviews, and Caleb said, hey, you know where my dad is? I'm like, I think he's coming down. I said, by the way, he didn't know who you were.
He didn't know that was you. So in hindsight,
said,
it was a cool moment.
Me?
And it was, but really good. The special teams it's been everything that we thought that, or at least we thought it could be. Didn't think it'd be anywhere near what it is. By the way, you did mention you had a story about Coach Rhule's sweatshirt that he was wearing today.
Oh, I'll tell you in the commercial break.
Okay, all right. Oh, I didn't know if that was for air or not.
Speaking of special teams, we're going to talk some more special teams because Jacob Bauer, you'll recall his story back in the spring, is put on scholarship. Another one of those guys put on scholarship, special story. But he's on every single special teams unit that there is. Been a huge part. I would say he's almost like the captain of the special teams unit. So we're going to hear from him. He was this week's Cornhusker Conversation. We're going to play you a portion of that conversation coming up next. Keep it here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. And again, 402-413-2400 is that number to call in or text in if you want to be a part here, as we got a few more segments left here on this Monday night edition. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management, Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorseed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn. And other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. On Mondays, we like to play you a portion of our Cornhusker conversation brought to you by our great friends at Woodhouse. And this week I had a chance to have a lengthy conversation with Jacob Bauer. He's a sophomore linebacker out of California, was a walk-on, earned a scholarship in the spring, and has been a huge part of the special teams units, all of them. And again, Kyle, he is, I was talking to you about this before, but just to see the attention to details, they come right over, they look at the iPads, trying to figure out what they can do on the next kickoff or next punt, whatever it might be. And he is definitely one of the leaders of that. He comes right over and is trying to coach guys up, and Coach Eckler's talking to him and pulling him aside. And he's a big part, but just those attention to details is a big reason why this unit has been so much better.
Well, you think of a guy like that who's an incredibly high motor and somebody who was underevaluated at walk-on turned scholarship. You think of the spring that he had and how he flashed, and you have to be able to carve out a role on teams where you don't necessarily have the role that you want. Same goes for a Carter Nelson or a Jameer Khan. Those are two guys that stand out on special teams, that they have created a significant role where they're impact players on special teams. And players like that can win you games. When they're playing at an elite level and they're buttoned up in terms of the details, special teams can win you games. And a guy like Jacob Bauer, he can win you a game by making that tackle on a kick return or punt return. So he's a special player. He's a special type of athlete and mindset that he came into Nebraska with, and they're lucky to have him.
Okay, so here's a portion of that conversation with Jacob Bauer. People might remember your story from the spring. You were a walk-on, and then the coach gave you a scholarship. Take us back to that and tell us that story again. Just what was that moment like, and how special was that to be a part of that?
It was a surreal moment. It was unexpected. It was expected in my mind, but I definitely just appreciate the camaraderie of it all. You know, all my buddies coming up after me and telling me how much they love me and giving me all the support that I needed at the time. And it was a tough time. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, with the 105 rule and all that. And so I just, trusted God, and I played every day as if it were the new day. And I was just grateful for it all, and one thing led to another. I got the scholarship, and things went rolling from there. So
Describe the phone call to
mom?
your mom.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of it all. I remember after practice, I ran straight to the barbershop room, and I just wanted a place to like myself. All my friends were coming up, like I said, all my friends were coming up to me and patting my back and telling me congrats. But I was adamant on calling my mom, so I found a quiet corner and I called her, and I was crying, and I was trying not to cry, but I wanted to tell her the news, and it was something that I had been working for a long time, and so just at that moment, telling her those words really meant a lot to me and a lot to her. And Coach Rob was standing around the corner, and he was watching me, so it was a great moment. Yeah.
You cried. Did she cry?
She did cry. Yeah, she got me crying. So right when I picked up the phone, I think she had known something was up because like she was just sitting there. I think she had to cancel her work call at the time, and she was sitting in her office, and like it was on FaceTime. And so when I told her about like what was happening, she started crying, tearing up, and then I started tearing up, and I wanted to be strong for her. So, but yeah, it was a great moment. So
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it was right after it happened. You were part of the media availability, and I was able to chat with you, and you told me a story about you came here as what, an 10-year-old in the choir?
Yeah, actually, right here in this building, I was in the All-American Boys Choir chorus. Sorry, they'll get mad that I said that. But what we did was we would travel. We went to China one year. That year we went to, it was the Midwest tour. We had gone to Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska. And we would do sightseeing as well as singing. But our sightseeing trips were on going like the big things in that area. So Colorado, we went to Pikes Peak. In Nebraska, we went to Lincoln Memorial Stadium. And so like just downstairs in this building, we sang in the little lobby for the guys. We walked throughout the halls of the old facility. We ran out into the field. It was snowing. It was winter during that time. So we got like Miss Casero took photos of us running out onto the field that I still have. And so it was just a full circle moment. When I was 10 years old, I was doing this, and I had no idea that it was going to be where I was going to play football And so, it was just a full circle moment.
What impression did Nebraska and the stadium and being here leave on you as a 10-year-old?
I remember it being so big. That's the one thing I do remember. I mean, everything feels bigger when you're a little kid, but walking out into the field, I just, it felt like this is where you want to be, like there's no place like it, as they say. And out in the 50-yard line, looking around, like having hundreds of thousand fans screaming your name and all that kind of stuff, like this is what you work for, going throughout high school and all that. And so I never forgot that moment of being out there. And I always worked towards it throughout high school, and now I'm here. So
wow, can you still sing?
Yeah, I could sing. I play guitar, so I could, I did sing for Coach Rhule in the freshman year talent show a couple years back. So
what'd you sing?
What did I sing? It was Meow, 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 that song. I forget the name of it, but I learned it because I knew Coach Rhule liked that song. Tennessee Whiskey, that's what it is. Yeah, Tennessee Whiskey.
Did you bring down the house?
I don't know if my singers weren't really loud, so it was like I was playing the guitar, they were singing for me, but they didn't really know the words. Me and Jacob Brandel and a bunch of other guys, but it was a great moment. I thought I did great. I thought I did awesome playing the guitar.
That's awesome. Have you always played the guitar?
I picked it up my sophomore year of high school. I asked Santa for an electric guitar, and it went from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. You also played rugby, and that also was an option for you. I know you had offers to play rugby in college, but why did you choose football over rugby? And I guess take us through that decision.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. It was my senior year of high school, where it was like coming down to the wire, and I remember it was very stressful between me and my mom, and I didn't know where I was going to go, and I had gotten accepted into West Point, the military academy, to play rugby there, and I had a lot of opportunities for rugby, but I had nothing for football, and football was the one sport that I played since I was a kid, and it always had my heart. I just picked up rugby my sophomore year of high school, and just to stay conditioned and to, shore up my technique for football. And so rugby wasn't really like the first choice, but I was pretty dead set on going there, West Point. And I got the phone call in late April of my senior year, and it was Omar, and he had called me saying that they had seen another guy's film who had committed to USC. It was a running back, and they were watching film on him, and they had seen me make a tackle on him, and then they looked at my film, and then they had walk-on spots. So they saw me make that tackle, they looked at my film, and then they offered me a walk-on opportunity really late into that year. It was when Rhule was it was his first year at Nebraska. So I think he had like extra spots to give for like walk-ons, and I got that phone call, and I mean, right when I got that call, I basically knew I wanted to come here. The rest was history right when I got that phone call. So.
Did you think about running out on the field here when you were 10 years old?
Yes, I did. Yeah, actually, it took me a minute to remember that I had been here before, and it was I talked to my mom about it, and she pulled up the photos, and I was like, oh yeah, like that's that place. That was that big Memorial Stadium, the one that I had always like had in the back of my mind, something that I wanted to go towards, and so it was full circle.
Wow. What made you believe that football had your heart, but what made you believe you could come here and find your way into a role here with Nebraska?
My family. I think my family, it was, I didn't really think of myself as a walk-on. I thought of myself as a guy who could compete with these other guys, and I knew what I was capable of, and but my family really helped me instill that belief in me, and they they're always there to talk to. I call my brothers regularly to watch film in the film room after practice, and so I knew that I could compete from day one, and I just needed them to back me up and help me out, and I knew what I was capable of. Yeah.
Again, that was part of this week's Cornhusker Conversation presented by Woodhouse. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Just a fascinating story. I mean, so many different layers to his story, but don't you play guitar?
No. Wish I could.
You were also in choir, right?
I was.
Yeah.
I did try to play guitar for about one day, and I gave it up. I was very fascinated with the idea of being able to be musical until I realized that you ain't musical, kid. Move along.
But just, again, running out as a 10-year-old, when they came here on a school field trip, and then that staying in the back of his mind, then earning the scholarship in the spring, what a story.
It's a prototypical Nebraska football story. You run out of them nowadays, right, because of the nature of college football, and roster space is a little bit limited, but walk on to scholarship. This is what the program was built on. Somebody who had the dream as a young kid to, running out on the field and seeing how massive the stadium was, and now to get an opportunity to be a big part of this football team it's just a really cool story. And the good thing about, Cornhusker Conversation and all the chats that you have with all the players throughout the years is there's so many of them have stories that you don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't even know that Jacob Bauer was here when he was a kid and he dreamed about an opportunity like this, or, all the other things that he's interested in. There's deeper layers to all these players, and it was really cool to hear that chat.
So that full conversation is going to be posted here. I'll get it posted here in the next few minutes, so you can listen to that full conversation on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel as well. All right, had a text request earlier wanting to know what's going on with Husker baseball and softball. Our resident reporter, Camden's he's going to have an update for us here on the other side of this. So keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Hey Husker fans, every grower's got that game-winning play. Maybe it's upgrading that old pivot, switching up the play with smart tech, or controlling water like a pro. Valley Irrigation's putting $100,000 on the line to back 2 growers ready to score big. This is your chance to get that $75K or $25K irrigation grant, plus a $50 parts or service voucher just for logging in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Visit valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. That's valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 8th and October 31st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 28th in Lincoln, plus a pregame tailgate experience. Don't miss your shot to be a part of the action. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Fall City or Osceola Implement to enter. It's easy, it's free, and you could be cheering on the Huskers in person this season. Go Big Red. Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Fall into savings and drive something new at Woodhouse Chevy. Whether you're tailgating, planning a fall road trip, or driving your daily commute, there's a vehicle in the Chevy lineup that's perfect for wherever the road takes you. From reliable trucks to spacious SUVs, you'll find a wide selection of inventory, plus special financing and limited time offers available now. Shop online anytime or stop by one of our 2 convenient locations in Omaha or Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Also Evan and Camden back there helping us run the show tonight. So Denny in Omaha back in the first hour asked if there is any way we could give an update on baseball and softball and what's going on with those two teams. And Camden has an update because the red-white series for baseball is currently taking place. So what do you got for us, Camden?
Yeah, so baseball, the red-white series that they do every year, it's usually a 3-game series, but they're playing right now, game number 1, and the red team leads the white team 9-2 in the top of the 7th inning. The red team got 1 run in the first, 4 in the second, 4 in the third, and then the white team got 2 runs in the top of the 5th. So 9-2 for the red-white series. Red in the lead again. Red-white. The teams don't really, matter much to you because they're all mixed up. But 9-2.
All right, and over the weekend, softball's a little fall ball action, which they were not able to play other teams last year just due to the injuries with the pitching staff, but they're actually able to compete and play this year.
Yeah, so they're pretty busy, actually. They played a doubleheader on Saturday. They beat Colorado State 5-0, then lost to Omaha 1-0. That was game 2. Evan was saying that it was just a home run in the first inning. That was the only run in the whole game. And then Sunday they bounced back and beat Colorado State 6-1 again. And then looks like they'll play a doubleheader at Kansas on Saturday. So they'll play 2 games there. And then they'll have, in a couple weeks, looks like the 22nd, 29th, and 5th of November, they'll have their Scarlet versus Cream scrimmage. So,
all right, good stuff. Appreciate that, Camden. There you go, Denny in Omaha on our Woodhouse text line. Got a couple short segments left. We'll have our weekend winners coming up here in the last segment, but 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to call in or be a part of the show. We've talked a lot of football, but we mentioned this at the top of the hour. Evan had an update that Harper Murray is your Big Ten Player of the Week, but Husker Volleyball, man, they were just outstanding yesterday. And Purdue is, again, another one of those top teams in the country. That's a tough place to play. First set was pretty competitive. They haven't been beat in Big Ten play. Have not dropped a set in Big Ten play.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting when you look at it. So they've played the last couple weeks 15 in the country. They played 12. Purdue was 12th in the country. I mean these are all, for the most part, you're playing some really good teams, some ranked teams, and the fact that they're clean sweeps and there's really no sweating or a thought of you might have to go a 5th set or anything like that. We saw a little bit of that earlier in the year where they had to sweat some of these out, but were able to come away with it. And they've played some of their biggest tests on their schedule, so it makes you think, okay, in the regular season, when is this team maybe going to trip up? But on paper, I mean, they're much better than a lot of these teams, and it's fun to watch.
So have the Michigan schools coming up this weekend at Michigan State on Friday and then at Michigan on Sunday. We will have Danny Busboom Kelly in for our hour-long volleyball show coming up tomorrow night in the 6 o'clock hour with John Baylor. I'm also sitting down with Lindsey Peterson for The Dig tomorrow as well, so we'll talk lots of volleyball here coming up. Also, before we run out of time, wanted to mention, hey, those ticket sales, they're going fast for the Husker men's basketball exhibition game. Top 25 preseason came out. BYU is a top 10 team. So big test. That's exhibition contest. You're going to see some great basketball.
No football that day either, so you might as well make the trek.
Yeah, don't always get a chance to see this caliber of a matchup in an exhibition contest, but going to be in PBA. I am told there's going to be some pretty high-level recruits that will be in town, but a noon tip. And there are less than 600 tickets available now for this one. They're pushing for a sellout, want to make a big push here to start the season. So, again, Husker basketball. And we'll have Fred Hoiberg coming up here later in the week on the show. But if you want to be in PBA, it starts on Saturday with a big one against BYU.
Can I get tickets?
I think you got to pass.
Okay. Camden has tickets. Camden's going to the game on Saturday.
Are you allowed to sit in the student section still, Camden?
I would assume not.
He's
will there be a student section for Saturday?
There usually is
But it's an exhibition. So
Oh, not an exhibition, but I don't know for this one. Maybe there will be. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm taking my brother. He was excited to see that.
I should have asked. I'll confirm,
recruit.
but
how are your seats? Camden?
It's in the lower bowl. I think it's by one of the tunnels. So pretty good.
Okay.
Huskers.com/tickets. Again, those tickets are going pretty fast. So it was at the beginning of the day, there was, I think, close to 1,000. Now there's close to 500.
Moving quick.
So they're moving quick. So
it's an important, I guess for evaluation for the coaching staff, it's an important start when you play a team like BYU. Obviously, the wins or the losses won't necessarily matter in an exhibition game, but it allows you to show yourself pretty early what you got. And you'll get the opportunity to do it in front of the home crowd, which would be really, really cool. And again, Nebraska football plays on Friday, so you won't have to worry about a football game that day. So you have the opportunity to wake up a little early, maybe have some breakfast, and then head over to Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Husker women's basketball, they have their first exhibition the following Friday, so October 24th. So we'll have Amy Williams on next week. We'll have Fred on this week to preview kind of the start of the season. But Matt Coatney is going to be stepping up and filling in for us on Sports Nightly on Thursday night. So if you want to talk some women's basketball, I'm sure he'll be glad to do that with you on Thursday night.
Yeah, how awesome is Coatney, by the way? I had the chance to listen to Big Red Reaction a lot. Tommy Armstrong was on this past week, so just to hear him in my ears during the fifth quarter or halftime and the way he juggles all the scoreboards and the things that he does, it's been great to get to know him a little bit more. He's a broadcasting legend around these parts, and I've been seeing a lot of You Betches around, and the fans are excited to get him back on the radio in a play-by-play way.
Can wear lots of different hats, and you can throw something at him, and he just handles it. I mean,
he's a vet, and he's got his full-time job that he works at the post office, right?
DMV.
DMV, because I've been asking him, actually, I got to get my Nebraska license.
Yes, you do.
So I've been asking him, hey, Coatney, can you fit me in here and help me out? But he's awesome.
Get your Nebraska license and learn how to play pitch, and then you're officially...
Yeah, I got to figure out a lot of things.
officially part of the crowd here. All right, going to get to a break. Coming up on the other side of this, we'll have our weekend winners for you. Keep it here on Sports Nightly, and Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
At Woodhouse Honda, we've got the perfect vehicle for every lifestyle. Shop the full Honda lineup and take advantage of limited time offers happening now. Lease the 2025 Honda Ridgeline Sport for $249 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in-store off Highway 281 in Grand Island or online at WoodhouseHonda.com. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, security deposit waived, $6,500 due at signing, plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GH250128. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit Sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Monday night edition. And we like to save this segment, as we always do, for our weekend winners. And Evan's going to be hopping in with us. Camden back there usually has something off the wall. And Kyle normally picks something with the Colts. So we'll see if he mixes it up today.
I got news for you.
You're not gonna.
Hey, if they keep winning.
Super Bowl champs. Evan, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, my weekend winner is UCLA football and Jerry Neuheisel, their new offensive coordinator, who stepped into the role really nicely after the coaching staff got a little shakeup after that rough start to the season. They've been winners of 2 straight, 38-13, beat Michigan State, who Nebraska had trouble for a bit with, but we shaped out there, and so I think that matchup is a lot scarier now on the schedule than it was at the beginning of the season.
I'll say this. They've given all the credit to Jerry Neuheisel. They haven't given any to the interim head coach, Tim Skipper. I mean, they're skipping, not the pardon the pun, they're skipping right over him just to say it's all Neuheisel and him taking over the play calling. They're just completely not mentioning the fact that he's not the interim head coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they were a winner last week, and so here they are. And as Evan just said, they're left on the schedule, and not a cakewalk by any means. All right, Camden, what you got?
Mine's not really off the wall this week. First off, I have 2 winners. One is an honorable mention. Kyle tied me for winner of the picks.
Ooh.
So I'll give Kyle a winner.
Is that your first win?
I was about to say honorable mention is against the rules, but I'll allow it.
Yeah,
At least he's not quitting this week.
Well, we got a lot of picks to go. We could be quitting again.
But not this week. You're not
this
quitting.
week. We're red hot.
Okay.
He's ready for the comeback. So honorable mention, Kyle. And then we kind of mentioned this earlier, but Jordy Ball and Tatum Edwards for Husker softball. Tatum Edwards, a former player, and then Jordy, obviously currently, was named by D1 softball to the all-quarter century team as some of college softball's best. In the last 25 years, Ball was honored as a pitcher, and then Tatum Edwards was honored as a 2-way player.
Nice.
I'll go with a running
Colts.
back of a certain team that resides in the Midwest. In Indianapolis, Indiana, baby. Jonathan Taylor, 21 totes to the rock, 123 yards, and a touchdown. The Colts are off to their best start since 2009 when they went to a Super Bowl. They are 5-1. They were 6-0 that year. Daniel Jones is immaculate. He might be the greatest quarterback that's ever lived.
It's become a theme. Yeah, hopefully, I hope for your case, you keep it rolling.
Indiana Jones.
A theme of winning and laziness on my part, not doing any other research.
It's kind of funny now. All right, so if anybody saw the Oklahoma State game, things are really, really bad in Stillwater right now. But there was this one guy, and his name was Trent Eaton. He was dared by his sister, bet $10 he wouldn't go over to the student section. It was completely empty. It was pretty sad. But he goes over there, takes his shirt off, starts waving it around. It turns from 1 into 10 and 20, and then it ends up filling up the student section. I got a lot of family and friends that went to Oklahoma State. I actually had family that was at that game against Houston and said it was the best part of the game. But
they went viral.
They went viral, and Oklahoma State, let's face it, could use some positivity, something positive.
Yeah, just a bunch of shirtless dudes waving their shirts in the air like they just don't care. Sometimes the season can trend in that direction. You just hope it's not your team.
He said he hopes it shows recruits that even when your team is down, fans are going to show up, have a good time, and support you. That's pretty on par for Stillwater.
Shirts off for the boys.
All right, so that's going to do it for us here on Sports Nightly. Again, coming up tomorrow night, 6 o'clock hour, we've got our Husker Volleyball show with John Baylor and Danny Busboom Kelly. Have our weekly press conference with the coordinators and players as well. And then Wednesday night will be our football show. Mike Eckler going to be in the house. So lots of good stuff headed your way this week. So keep it here all throughout this week. Thanks to Camden, Evan, Kyle. We'll talk to you tomorrow night here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Woodhouse Hyundai, receive 0% APR for 60 months on select 2025 Hyundai models like the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Plus, rest easy with Hyundai Owner's Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Visit us online at woodhousehyundai.com or woodhouseplacehyundai.com today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Must finance with Hyundai Motor Finance. 10% cash down or trade equity and $299 doc fee due at signing. Available on gas and hybrid models. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex.